Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and the last couple of videos I did, I ran into some problems with YouTube as far as being able to actually just run my videos after commentary. So I've decided, because of, again, the copyrights, that I need to just mute all my training footage and just do voiceovers for you guys so that you guys can hear me talk about specifically what I'm doing and understand the specifics of what's going on with my workout. So because those last two videos I had problems with it, people didn't like the format, I decided to go ahead and just take both of my last full body workouts, just string the footage together for you guys and talk to you about specifically what it is I'm doing as far as my lifts go and the kind of training I'm currently doing. All right, so at first I'm doing some behind the neck push press, and yes, I'm aware that my push presses are not like a deep push press, they're just a little bit of leg drive, and that's okay. I'm not worried about that because I'm still getting some of the benefits of a push press. Now you guys notice my behind the neck ones, they end up turning into basically a fourth rep from the front because, as you guys see, I clean it up and I just kind of push press it up behind, over my head and behind my neck, and that was my warm-up set. And then I go to my main sets, but I'm still counting these as 3-rep sets. And what I do on most of my main exercises right now, I try to do around 3 sets of 3. But people need to understand that I'm also doing other stuff at home. I do a lot of chin-ups at home, which is the reason my workouts tend to be very, very press-oriented to balance that out, because I have some days where I do as many as 30 chin-ups at home every day. And I'm trying to practice doing all of those from a dead hang just to get better at getting that stretch at the bottom. But by behind the neck push press, you're going to notice I use a fairly wide grip. My front push press, I tend to do a very, very narrow grip for better leverage, but behind the neck, just to get my shoulders comfortable and find the bar path that works for me that doesn't stress my shoulders, I do a fairly wide grip on it because I find it more comfortable in my shoulder joints. And the push press is one of those exercises that you need to be very, very aware of that when you're doing anything behind the neck. You have to find the hand positions, elbow positions, everything that do not compromise your shoulder joints, that do not cause pain. And I don't go that heavy on these. You'll notice I only do like 165. That's the heaviest I go on these right now. I'm not really concerned with going much heavier because, again, it's about controlling that weight on these and using them as pretty much just an accessory movement. My front press is my main movement, and I tend to do a lot of times, even on other days, I come in and just do dumbbell overhead presses sometimes at the gym for a quick workout, because on average, as far as real hard workouts like this, I don't do more than 2 or 3 of these a week. But I do extra overhead work at the gym on some workouts by themselves. Here I'm doing trap bars. Now the thing is, you guys will notice I rotate through a lot of my big exercises because of the workloads, the frequency, to give certain areas a little bit of relief. Like, for example, I'll do trap bar deadlifts like this, and I think, what do I have on there, like 535? I don't know, I don't really track it because, again, I don't consider the trap bar deadlift one of my primary exercises. It's just an accessory for my deadlift. So I'm not overly concerned with weight on the bar. But in my experience, even a low trap bar like this, you should be able to add 30 to 40 pounds over your normal deadlift, even if you're doing low handles. If you go high handles, in my experience, you should be able to lift at about 100 pounds more than your conventional deadlift. But I'm using low handles here, so it's a little different. So yeah, I think I just banged out a quick triple. And usually on deadlifts right now, I went through a long phase earlier this year of accumulation work where I was building up to as many as 10 light sets of deadlifts. And now I've switched over to pretty much just doing one peak set. And I only deadlift about twice a week right now because I tend to do a lot of just cleaning up. And I know people are calling that kind of a muscle clean that I do, and that's okay. After that, I did these Pendlay rows. And like I said before, when I covered these, I felt like I went too heavy on these. A Pendlay row is supposed to be a very, very strict movement, and I feel like I kind of went too heavy on these. What do I have on there? I don't know. 255, something like that. And honestly, it's causing my form to break down. I'm using a little bit too much body English, a little bit too much cheat, and that's not really the way this exercise is meant to be performed. It's supposed to be a speed exercise. So honestly, that's a criticism of myself in this video. I'm going a little heavier than I should. And then we weighed in that day, and I believe I was weighing 238. Although I am down another couple of pounds since this footage was taken, my weight loss is coming along fine. I'm about to add more cardio in so that I can continue this weight loss, but that was down to 238. I started at 250 and just started adding a lot more cardio in and just basically eating just, again, even slightly lower fat diet, increased my protein just slightly, reduced my fat, added more cardio, and the scale started dropping pretty quickly. just doing that without even tracking anything. So that was 238. I'm down to 236 now. All right, here's the second workout. And I'm starting with the clean and push press. And I only clean the first rep up. And again, I know, guys, this isn't like a perfect power clean, but it doesn't have to be for my purposes. It's not really a big deal. But this is my warm-up. You guys will notice I use a shoulder width grip. A shoulder width grip on this as opposed to the much wider grip that I use on the behind the neck. And again, it has to do with where I get the best leverages. And for me, I've noticed I really get a lot of additional tricep, and it feels like even chest stimulation doing it with a very narrow grip, and it seems to be really easy on my shoulders. They don't ever hurt from doing this. But again, the thing that I note is that sometimes my forearms tend to hurt more than anything on this exercise. Afterwards, they tend to get a lot of DOMs in them, and so I rotate through different overhead presses. So, I mean, the push press is going to be my primary, really one of my most important exercises to me right now, probably that and the deadlift. But I do variations of it, like the behind the neck, and I do a lot of like strict standing dumbbell presses also, and I tend to do those on a lot of off days, or go into the gym just a quick trip through when I happen to drive by a gym that we have memberships to, because we have memberships to several, and just get a quick workout in. This, for those curious, I'm working with 195, and again, just doing a quick 3x3. And again, trying to work it around RPE 8 on most of my big workouts like this. And the thing I said before, you guys noticed there, and again, it caught a lot of criticism from the haters, but yeah, my skin is getting looser there. And it actually seems to be getting even better now that I'm down a couple pounds, but I'm noticing my skin tends to get really loose and it starts basically flowing down my waist, which you guys can see there with the blue shirt on in this workout. But I would again mark that as a sign of successful fat loss. I still have a lot of loose skin from the 100 pounds I lost after being sick when I first got back into training. I was still in that weight loss process when I first got on YouTube. I think I lost the last 30 pounds of that while I was doing YouTube when I first started my original channel. But yeah, so doing a quick warm up there on my deadlift with 405. And for those curious, I don't warm up a lot on deadlifts, and I know a lot of people don't understand why. To me, warming up on the deadlift is simply about priming your nervous system for your next set. Now, I will note I only went 515 on this day, and this felt really slow. And again, that's the reason I had to decrease the weight on my Pendlays in this workout, because honestly, 515 shouldn't feel this slow for me for a triple. No explanation for it other than my speed strength hadn't recovered enough. I must have timed something wrong in my training programming because I got plenty of food that night. I ate a good high carb breakfast before coming in to train. So I don't know if it's just a combination of the weight loss, fatigue, most likely, but I went down lighter on the Pendlay rows, because when you notice a loss of speed strength on something like your deadlifts, it's a good sign that your overall speed is down, your overall power is down, and if you want to make the most of it, you've got to go lighter on your other heavier work. So in this workout, I only went with 225 on my Pendlay rows, which I know that seems insanely light. Guys are like, we've seen you crank out 10 reps before with 245. Yeah, but not immediately after deadlifting, not while performing them strict and in the middle of weight loss. So there's a big difference between what you lift when you're bulking and when you're doing only a single set. And a lot of those Pendlay rows that I was doing and some of those workouts in the past in the old garage were done on just bench press and squat days, so didn't always pull before that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative and that you guys enjoy this training footage, and I will talk to you guys next time.